Good evening, Dragon Warrior Randomizer fans, and welcome to Game 2 of the Grand Finals in the 2025 Dragon Warrior Randomizer Summer Tournament. Tonight we got Beta bringing in a 1-0 lead, facing off against Cirno. Hi everybody, I'm DK9146. Alongside me in the booth tonight is Hoodie Two Shoes. How you doing, Hoodie?
I'm doing fantastic. I am very much looking forward to this game 2. If it's anywhere near as exciting as game 1, we are in for something spectacular.
Absolutely. Game 1 brought a lot of fun. Everybody was a little put off by that early Hurtmore, but you know, the game kind of trolled them along the way. We had an absolutely ridiculous finish on both sides with Beta coming out on top.
Yeah, there was intrigue and drama all the way, so yeah, I haven't seen that one. It's definitely worth a watch. I won't spoil it for you in terms of what happened, but it's worth seeing how it ended up in that result. And we've got a 5-strength start here, and we've got heal and sleep. What do you think about that, DK?
Well, you know, 5-strength kind of stinks, but you know, the sleep will buy us a couple rounds, heal, bailing us out, and they got 15 MP to boot with it, so they got some casts to go here, so they'll be able to weed their way out of some things here. We'll also have to wait and see what the king gives them and see if they might get a little extra blessing here.
Yeah, maybe you get a fairy water or a torch, could be very useful. You could get gold and find a town nearby. You could get coal or a cave. Lots of things could happen to make this, but let's say nothing happens. Even with that 5-strength, sleep and heal are both things that give you possibilities for, you know, crit farming or maybe just really outlasting an enemy like a ghost that normally you can't. There's options with these kinds of spells to start out with.
Absolutely, and I see a bunch of guesses in chat. We'll see what happens here. I know you guessed Fighter's Ring Dragon Scale, and I guessed Curse Belt and Money. We'll see what we'll get here in a moment. We are about to start.
And looks like we're going to get to see on Cirno's side here what our two items are, as the king is going to give his long-winded speech of inspiration and advice. We've got a torch, so that's an instant offense. And a torch, instant offense.
I mean, they're going to be happy about that torch with a 5-strength start. We'll get all the stats checks here on both sides. They'll double check their spells, and we'll get out here into the overworld and see what we're about to face.
Yep, Cirno electing not to save. We'll see if Beta makes the same choice, or nope, yep, both going right at it. So not afraid of losing those torches.
Yeah, quick little cursory glance to the east by Beta. Gets ambushed by Magidraki. I can absolutely see him doing a sleep and a couple torches here, and that's looking like what he's going to try and do. We do get a red slime down for Cirno to be the first on the board.
Yeah, Magidraki or Scorpion, I think, both great with these 2 torches and sleep, and gets it done. 12 XP, very good.
Yeah, quick level 2 here for Beta, and we're going to see 7 power, 9 agility, 7 HP, 10 more MP, and level 2 Hurtmore. Let's go.
Amazing. They didn't want level 1 Hurtmore, they didn't get it, but you can't stop level 2 Hurtmore from coming, and we've got a town immediately here on Beta's side, so once again, they have more MP to work with this time, 25, that's 5 casts. We'll have to see what they do with it.
Yeah, and immediately another level here, both going to be on this 1015 and Repel. So yeah, off to the races really quickly, and we have the town of Garenham.
The notable difference tonight as opposed to last night is they have access to heal and repel along with that Hurtmore. Both very fantastic things to have.
Yeah, they're in a much better position with this early Hurtmore, just having that heal alone. And that wolf was a nice, juicy early enemy here for Cirno. Going to go up a couple levels here. We're going to have Beta getting that level here as well. So it is 4, 6, 4, 1. Comes with heal more.
So they didn't want another one of these free-for-all, you get Hurtmore and everything seems to come quickly seeds, but all signs are pointing towards that at this point as Cirno picks up a club and Beta dons the scale of the dragon.
Yeah, some early junk purchases here. I kind of like Beta's a little more. It's going to last the whole game, and he gets a little pull for added clarity there. He's a little light on cash otherwise, but we're going to see if we can go blow some things up here real fast.
Yeah, having access to Hurtmore and, you know, 6 casts of it now, if they get fully healed. And another cave and a town, or another town into cave here, and a great enemy for Cirno.
Yeah, that's a fantastic early Hurtmore enemy right there. Here comes level 5. We'll get to see what these 2 locations, not as nice over there, but we got 5 power, 3 agility, 1 HP, 5 magic. We got Hurt and outside.
And Werewolf for Beta, so he's going to pick up that level right now as well. Actually, slides into the lead. So yeah, and Rim, of course, is the town. So key access. It's everything all at once.
Yeah, this is pretty exciting. We'll see how this goes. Right now, both these runners have to be feeling very similar to how they did in game one, where you have that early hurt more. You're feeling a lot of pressure to get some stuff happening here, and we'll see how they play it out. It's going to be a lot of exploration, but we got level 6 here coming with 4 power, 6 agility, 3 HP, 6 magic.
Yeah, definitely being able to find the most efficient way to grind with the hurt more is going to be key. Is it an Axe Knight spike and Hawks or on the swamp? Is it the overworld? As we see a red dragon, the beta does get away with 36 agility, but whatever doing the best XP per minute with hurt more is whoever's going to end up winning the race, I think.
Absolutely agreed. You'd love to see that stop spell on this red dragon and hurt to follow it. Holy cow, that's insane. We do have the stones of sunlight in the bottom of the tablet cave.
Yep, so already 1/3 of the plot items required here in the early stages. It's 4 minutes in, and we're level 6 and 5 respectively with hurt more and heal more and keys.
And amazingly, a 38 HP max, and we get a mercy rule from a red dragon because this game is funny.
And there are some pretty good enemies around on the world for this hurt more. There's that red dragon as well, but like you said, once they get stop spell or access to Erdrick's armor and some attack power, that thing is going to be food. So this, again, all signs are pointing to this being lightning fast.
Yeah, especially with that level 7, 18, 0, 5, 16. So some very nice stats. Beta's going to be able to fully key up here with all that cash on him here. So we'll be getting a check on this rim chest here in a moment. But meanwhile, we got the treasury coming up on Cirno's side.
Bottom right, token. So 2/3 of the homework is done. Gold grind is available easily in Tantagel. An extra key for Cirno. And another extra key. So yeah.
Okay, then we'll just keep dumping everything off on these guys, and we got 2 plot items already. Doesn't help us kill things faster, but it is nice to get them. We'll see what's downstairs after some additional key purchases from Cirno, while Beta gets his initial keys, and will give us a quick check of the rim chest before going to get his stones out of the tablet.
Yeah, and even though it's only 5 minutes in, I feel like once you get this knowledge, things feel pretty progressed. That gold is there. Are you thinking about a gold grind?
I mean, it depends on how it sets up again. We saw Beta decide to do the gold grind in the last night's match, and it was very helpful for him as far as being able to repel a ton of the Sharlock enemies. He was repelling the first 5 on the list, while Cirno was only able to get the wizard as a result of not doing the gold grind.
Yep, and we'll have to see the, I don't remember the shop in Garenhem, but we do have a silver shield available in Rim at the very least, and a half plate. Have to see if either of them, again, make that decision. It is early enough to think that could happen if they get to a place that allows them to.
Yeah, absolutely, and we get the checks just keep coming. So here we go with the back of Garenham. We will talk to that lady up top here in a moment. I am very positive, but first we're going to get a dragon scale for free on Cirno's side. He's going to pick up some more gold, and our third chest, even more gold.
And there's the check. She hates people, and that's fair and reasonable.
Yeah, absolutely. We got the stones over on Beta side here, and the dragon scale has been equipped for Cirno now, while we have Swamp South downstairs.
And this is a place where you could set up a gold grind right here. You get those 3 chests in the top, and then you can die down here. And be very interested to see what's on the spike as well in terms of grindability.
Yeah, I was wondering if he might make a play to go check that first or pop through. We know obviously popping through will not take him to any of our town or castle locations, so it'll put him somewhere in this overworld. So it might be more information to go check this spike, to be quite honest, and he is making the turn.
Yeah, especially if, I don't remember if he checked the shop in Rim or not, but if he did, he knows there's a silver shield, and it seems like, every reason to make that choice right now.
Yeah, grindable, not right now. Armor Knight doesn't even give him a chance to throw 1 hurt more, let alone 2. He's back to the castle. We'll see if he makes that opts to try that, as Beta's going to go buy some stuff with this cash.
Yep, immediately going to pick up something. We'll have to see what it is. Nothing. Checking the shop. Maybe now he knows he can set up the gold grind. Oh, not going to go to the basement.
He's walking out to get the 2 chests again. High probability of getting 1200 to get the full plate.
Yeah, that makes perfect sense. So
now we're switching positions. Yeah, we got Cirno going to go do the rim checks while Beta is going to go purchase his full plate and then go downstairs and find out about the swamp cave.
The Cirno did not elect to get the gold grind going, so I'm gonna forgo that for now, potentially for the entirety of the seed.
Yeah, I have a strong feeling he will most likely get this half plate, I would assume here. May even pick up that small shield since he's got some extra cash and at least get some defense going better than those clothes.
Yeah, that's going to be a 16-point increase over the clothes right there. So, no, not, yeah, 18. It's going to be great.
Absolutely, and both upgraded to the copper sword as well from their bamboo pole and club respectively. So now we're pretty much even knowledge, even information. Beta still has to get back to the castle to do those checks, but those will be done fairly easily once he takes a death somewhere, most likely on this armor knight, to be quite honest.
Yeah, and normally when you have Hurtmore, you're not as concerned about your weapon, but knowing that those nerfed red dragons are out there, I think that you might be more interested in picking up that flame sword as soon as you can.
Well, we'll see. I have a strong feeling Beta, it's super early in this race. It is Jetty feeling again, but I still feel he's going to go ahead and do that, especially knowing he's already got the repel spell. He'll be able to repel quite a bit once he upgrades to his silver shield here.
Yeah, and it's just right there to get both the extra 18 attack power and then 16 defense that those items would provide.
Except Beta hasn't been here yet and opens the chest in the wrong order.
That's unfortunate.
Does maybe pick up his token though.
We'll see if he elects to go back and set it up another time, or yeah.
Well, we're going to top off our keys. We're topping off the health over on Cirno's side. We're going to go get knowledge of that staff cave downstairs for Beta, and then we will be on full even knowledge here after doing so. Cirno going to elect to go back through Swamp Cave here. I would have to assume he's not going to try this armor knight yet and just wants to see where it takes us.
Yeah, maybe an outside cast to come, and looks that way. Well, we got some mountains out here and a little bit of swamp. So far, not looking a whole lot like it might be big, but it could open up. Star Wyvern's a decent enemy to hurt more.
Yeah, we'll take those all day as well. Typically a little difficult to deal with in one hurt more, but we'll take it out with a follow-up hurt and top off his health. We have golems just north of the castle here in the swamp. That's the second one in a row for Beta. No flute yet.
Yep, he's been able to run away, so we haven't seen if they have any abilities or spells yet, but also interesting to keep in mind.
So here's our divergence. We have two completely different paths of explorations. Beta does find another town, as does Cirno.
Well, it's going to be Cantlin versus Unknown. With the keys, though, Cirno should be able to pick up those coordinates if they exist, as he picks up a large shield as well.
Yep, and I think that'll, outside maybe trying to upgrade a weapon if dependent on our other spike tile, I think that'll most likely do it for him from a purchasing perspective.
Beta, meanwhile, into Cole, going to get an item right away if it's there, and it's the sword, so doesn't need that flame sword, but if he wants the silver, he can set it up later.
Okay then, so sword, very nice here. We've already got moderately decent strength for level 7, so we'll be able to not have to worry if those Hurtmores don't take down an enemy. You can kind of finish them off with a swing of the sword, and we have 44 north, 75 west.
That doesn't seem particularly easy to get to from start, but I may be mistaken.
Yeah, Unknown, Beta's north. I don't know how far west it goes here. Where Cirno was the west coast, so it is very possible you do have to go through that swamp cave to get to where that's located. But level 8 for Beta coming in, another 9 power, 1 agility, 19 hit points, 1 more magic.
So yeah, with the strength where it is, you just need more HP, and then you would want more MP. But grinding that red dragon is not really all that far off. You really just want more HP.
Yeah, we'll see what happens here as well for Beta. Coming across the town of Hoxnes, does a quick glance at the stats, is going to go in, and we have the Armor Knight, and he gets first action, so decent odds as we find, oh, he goes back to Caitlin on the right. Okay, we'll see what happens here.
Yeah, 15 out of 16 to succeed, and he does.
Easy money, gonna get him. He gets the flute.
Yeah, if that was the armor, that would be a much more relevant find. But there are golems out there. Maybe they have sleep, Dragonlord breath. We don't know.
Yeah, only time will tell, and typically the game really likes to let you know when you're in Char. Like, look at that, 26 HP, 1 HP man's gonna take out another Armor Knight and finish with 1 HP, 0 MP, and get level 9.
Yep, and Cirno, if he didn't know before, knows now that the red dragons have a pretty high propensity for spells that are not particularly effective.
Absolutely. 5, 6, 11, 1 for level 9, man. So we're coming along decently here. You'd love to see that HP and MP at level 9 right now. Agility needs to come up a little bit, but meanwhile, he does find out the red dragons are, for all intents and purposes, free once you have the capacity to kill them.
Yep, and I wonder now with Beta having the sword, knowing about those red dragons, if he's more inclined to try to set up that guaranteed gold grind for the defense, which he is entering Garanim again, so it's possible.
Yeah, it's very intriguing for sure. It's very intriguing to do right now. It is going to open the chest, so that is highly likely what he's going to do. If the smart play here would be go to this Armor Knight, grind it as long as the game will let you grind it, take the Death Warp, do your gold grind.
Yeah, and he had pretty good success against those Armored Knights already, so the proof of concept is there. You got 73 HP, which lets you feel decent about surviving ambushes and missed Hurtmores.
Yeah, meanwhile, Cirno into the swamp as well, not outsiding right away, so it appears maybe he wants to go grinding also.
Yep, I'm going to pick up level 8 here with that Druid Lord, and it should come with a little bit of HP.
Yeah, very needed for this grind especially, so here we go. We got Cirno heading down, we got Beta killing some things. Does not know about the coordinates yet though.
Yeah, Cirno just leaving though, deciding to head out the bottom again.
Yeah, Cirno may have been actually going for a princess rescue since he does have the cords. Has no keys, so he is going back to Rim to buy some keys real fast.
That'll do it.
This Armor Knight will be level 10 for Beta if he is successful. First Hurtmore is a swing and a miss.
Likely to see a heal more here. Nope, I'm just going to go for it.
Yeah, it looks like he's just going to go ahead and probably Death Warp after this. But meanwhile, level 10 coming in. We got 6 more power, 7 agility, 15 HP, 6 manship. We'll take that level.
Yeah, and quietly on these Armored Knights, Beta has gotten out to a bit of an XP lead here as well.
Yeah, and a really good XP lead. Doesn't have the other side of swamp knowledge, but it wasn't too far away that Caitlin was located when Cirno went through. It was just to the west, so I don't foresee that being a huge issue for Beta unless he full clears the first continent first. Obviously, we still don't know if these are a single continent, but we're about to see a lot of money printing here in a moment. He does have to open all 3 other chests first, though.
Yep, and more HP is pretty great. 88 are getting closer, and it makes fighting those things that are out there in the world just that much more reasonable. There's golems and red dragons out there.
Yeah, and at this point, yeah, he's taken on pretty much whatever he wants now. He's got the flute for the golem, which is still an unknown. We have the completely free red dragon. Still a little sloggy at 104, but not terrible. And we're gonna have a ton of defense here in a moment. Cirno now going to continue his destruction of Armor Knights. Go get him a princess. So we're heading towards those cords. The cords at this point from here in chat we know is down to harp, armor, or death necklace.
And the armor would be the most important because we've been talking about the red dragon, but really they don't have stop spell, so you need the armor for it to be really viable, because it'll stop your spell and then you can't heal. But you get the armor or stop spell, and then that's when it's go time.
All right, here we go. We're bringing the princess back home here in a moment. No return, so he's gonna have to walk it back after outside and out of there. But shouldn't be too much of an issue, hopefully. Meanwhile, Beta does the safety save. We'll be heading towards his silver shield here in a moment.
Yep, gonna be put up 16 defense, which is pretty great. The agility at 50 isn't that good yet, but should rubber band a little bit by the end. You never know, it could stay down there, but likely to be doing pretty well and maybe repelling a bunch of stuff again.
Yeah, Beta not dealing with the possible dodgy werewolves. Throws out a second hurt to finish it off. But here we go. We're into town. We'll have a silver shield momentarily for Beta and another 16 defense. So he'll be repelling a good chunk of this overworld.
Yep, Cirno almost in with Gwaelin. Will soon be having access to her love and knowledge of the overworld. We'll see if he's going to head straight towards the coordinates, or at least try to find them on the main overworld, or just head right through the swamp. I wonder if he's got a good idea of whether it's possible to get it on the first continent or not.
Yeah, I'm not sure. He hasn't headed north at all so far, so I'm not sure he has any clue as to how much north we have available to us here. It seems pretty decent size that you can go north, but it's that 75 west that concerns me.
Yeah, that's a pretty decent way to go, but we'll have access to the princess. Might even be able to set up a, landmark at some point and know where to go, know what to look for.
Interesting to come around here to buy key. Did he use that many keys? I guess he didn't have the cash for the keys still to get fully topped off. Picks up a net +2 as Beta is going to go into swamp. We'll see if he continues with the grind or wants to go out and explore.
Instant outside. And also heading straight south, which I believe is the direction that those areas were. No, that was
Cirno went south and then kind of west.
So yeah, if he finds Caitlin, then we'll be on par with knowledge, but won't have the princess rescued, as Cirno has closed the gap a little bit, but it's still around 800, so pretty decent size for right now.
Yeah, it's all going to depend on how fast each of them does what the other already has done. We know Cirno has found a couple, the Caitlin location over here, and that's exactly where Beta's at right now. And so he's about to get the coord information, while Cirno needs to get the other town's location on the first continent, which is just north of Start.
Yeah, and we haven't seen either of the 5 chest caves yet, and finding the armor is going to be very nice for anyone that does it, just for obvious reasons, for all the benefits, but the enemy that we've seen that could be very, very quick to grind, armor is paramount.
Well, Cirno kind of trying to walk west here, keeps running into water, so not looking good so far. It could still connect a little further to the north, but feeling more and more likely like you will have to come through the swamp to get there.
Plenty of space north.
Yeah, I suppose just noting as well, this just keeps on going and going, and there's unknown to the west at this point. He's kind of following that river, and it does kind of cap off here at the top. Beta about to go get his cord, so I don't know. We'll see what happens here. It should be interesting.
Cirno making sure to heal before trying to run from the golem is successful. Doesn't have access to the flute, although I'm not sure if he would have tried to use it anyway.
Well, he's going to throw out Gwaelin's love. I feel like he's way north and not far enough for east. Yeah, he's about 10 plus 10 north and needs to go another 30 to the west. So we'll see if it loops around up here. Not looking ideal, though.
Yeah, this is definitely looking like a tough count. So Princess might be coming for both players here. We'll have to see, but that seems like the most reasonable option for getting these coordinates right now.
And immediately dead end up here, so no go going north here. He didn't quite 100% confirm the west was a dead end this high up, but it's looking highly likely that it's a lot of water over here. Nah, there we go. It does open up, so he might possibly be able to get there. He keeps going further north though.
Yeah, this is another one of those special kinds of maps.
Yeah, this has been interesting so far. Meanwhile, Beta is taking on this red dragon. It did bite once, but otherwise, just it's not even landing its stop spells, and we have no way to prevent that yet. So that's pretty interesting. It's working out well for him, and we have a cave way off here, and we have found a little Jerkerino. So we'll be back here later.
Well, that's a pretty nice find. This is kind of way out there, and there's nothing really else around.
And yet another cave right here along the coast, and we have the mountain cave. So 5 chests, hopefully should be pretty easy. We already know the top zone, unknown bottom zone yet, and we had a 5339 level 11 for Beta.
Yeah, no stop spell, so still not able to comfortably take those red dragons, but yeah, getting ever closer to everything. 91 HP.
Yeah, this is intriguing. I like that Beta's completing out his exploration over here. We have blue dragons downstairs, so not exactly the freest. You'll definitely want to top off. We did get an urban chest one, so we'll see if we can get to these other 4 chests here. Another blue dragon almost instantly.
And the agility is not as good as you would like it to be. I mean, at level 9, it's fine at 43, but at level 11 at 53, you're kind of hoping for a little bit more as you get higher. So we're hoping that 12 and 13, for their sake, maybe give them a little bit more.
Well, Cirno's going to be a little happy. He just found the armor in the second chest there, so that is a pretty nice find for him.
Yeah, that's absolutely huge. We've already mentioned the red dragon utility. The stop spell won't work from the red dragon. The hurt will be even less damaging, and then the heal walking is fantastic.
Rest of the mountain is a dud, so now we're down to a 50-50 harp or death necklace on the coordinates. Meanwhile, Beta has opted to go ahead and try using the flute on this golem. Throws it out once it wakes up immediately. He can continue to do it without the flute, however, because of where we're at on attack power, it's gonna eat into what little bit of resources he has remaining.
Yeah, I'll like to use the flute again just to try to save some of those resources.
And now, interestingly enough, Cirno walking back and forth looking for that blue dragon. I wonder if he wants to death warp now.
Yeah, potentially. Maybe interested in the silver shield, or maybe the flame sword that he knows is available too, now that he's got that armor in and knows about those red dragons. Yeah,
with that upgrade, he'll be repelling even better than Beta. Beta, meanwhile, is continuing this exploration out here, is starting to run out of space. I would say he's kind of looped back around on himself, I do believe.
Yep, and that first continent northwest area was where we found the Rainbow Drop Cave and the Mountain Cave, so Beta will need to eventually get up there for both of those things, because the armor's in the mountain, and you obviously need the Rainbow Drop Cave to get into Sharlock.
And I'm wondering if we might connect. We seem to be. Oh man, he is. He's like,
he
what?
did.
He did loop. I thought he was looping.
Fantastic. That is fantastic.
All right, he's gonna go top off real fast. We'll see what he decides to do about these coordinates. From his perspective, still 3 items, 2 of which he desperately wants and pretty much needs. So we'll see how that goes. Meanwhile, we're printing money on Cirno's side. We'll be picking up some stuff here in a bit. He's gonna take just up to shy of 25,000 to get that flame sword and silver shield. Although the flame sword will most likely be short-lived.
Yeah, it depends on whether he goes straight for the exploration and runs into coal, or goes back to that red dragon zone that he saw and tries to get some XP there first.
Precisely. So we're going out from Cirno's side. Meanwhile, Beta into the swamp cave. I have to assume he's coming in here to get him a princess. While I know some people pride themselves on wanting to either reverse count, which we don't really have an option on this one, or otherwise no princessing, this one almost seems like it would be a detriment if you tried to just do the count.
Yeah, I think that the princess makes a lot of sense on this kind of a seed. Even for the most ardent non-Gwaeliners, I would have to imagine very few of them would go ahead without Gwaelin on this seed.
So we're going to have some interesting stuff here. We need to, Cirno still needs to figure out where these chords are, but if he heads north from start, he'll get into that situation where he finds the sword and then is down to his 50-50, and if he goes chords, he might not ever see the grave. Meanwhile, we got 0160, but we do get the Stellar Return at level 12.
That is helpful. Make sure that you don't need to save wings in your inventory at the end of the game, which also makes me think, have we seen Sharlock yet?
Nope, we sure haven't. So Sharlock's still outstanding out there, as is Blackenary and Stone's Cave and Grave.
And like you said, all of it comes down to the coordinates now and whether or not Grave is even required. Potentially, you know, the Death Necklace could come into play. Maybe it's in there if the other one's on the coordinates. But yeah, it's always nice to not have to do so. Or if the coordinates are terrible and you find Grave first and that's the answer. Either way, could be potential for saving time.
Well, we'll see what happens here. Meanwhile, I mean, right now we have Beta with about a double XP lead over Cirno. He's picking up his princess right now, so Beta will be turning her in here in a moment. Does have a couple wings, so we'll get back a little quicker here. Meanwhile, there is our silver shield for Cirno, so we have upgraded and we are ready to go forth and kill some more things.
Yep, I believe he got the flame sword and the silver there, so pretty nice. Only 12 attack power less than Erdrick's sword, so still a good amount of attack to be fighting those melee fights.
Absolutely. So yeah, we're done buying anything on either end here. Beta will ultimately eventually get that armor. It's near where the jerk is anyway, so he'll get to the mountain one way or the other. But here we go for Cirno. He is heading north in the direction he needs to I believe come across our coal location.
Yep, and then sword is going to be great for, you know, both the attack power it gives, but also the knowledge that you get of what's left, and getting that harp is really all you need to do, and then finding Sharlock.
Yep, he has all other information, so here we go, and he has got his stick, so if I'm him, I'm trying to beeline right to where those coordinates are, because that might be all you need.
Yep, I don't even think he got to swing at one enemy with the repel with that flame sword. And we got Sharlock here spotted on Beta's screen.
Yeah, so Sharlock not too far away. I didn't see which way he went from start, but he had just dropped off the princess a moment ago, so pretty close to start.
Yep, and I have to imagine that Beta is maybe also on the northwesterly path.
Yes, he is trying to head back. Meanwhile, here we go with Hawksness. So Cirno oh, that's right. Cirno hasn't seen Hawksness yet, so he's about to find out about the flute in here, and then I think he beelines for the chords.
Yeah, that makes perfect sense. So Beta continues to take on these golems out on the overworld.
Yeah, I mean, it's the perfect enemy to get. The red dragon's the best, but the golem not too far behind, so is a little bit of a time killer with either fluting or eating up some resources, but it's still a big 350 at the end of the day. So here we go. We got the flute over here for Cirno, and let's see where he decides to go.
Yeah, and it's not the be-all, end-all, you know, it doesn't always mean everything, but every seed you do, you got to get experience. So being able to get a lot of efficient experience is a way to get better at the game. Like, that's the best players are the ones that gain XP very quickly.
Yeah, and I think we're going to be looking at an in-game grind scenario here. Is what do you want to do? Are you doing your Armor Knight, which is, you know, repeatable and really close there, or do you want to go and try and troll for red dragons in the desert just south of Rim there? or just north of Rim. They were, I mean, we've seen both sides. They've seen several of them. So this is either Grave or Stone's Cave.
We got the freebie cave, Stone's Cave. Let's see what's there. It's not going to be, well, it could have been, but it's not.
Yeah, a little bit of cash. I think at this point, Fighter's Ring would be nice, but not much else we are looking for. So let's see who gets to these chords first and gets this solved. I think I was gonna say, I think they're in the same area, and then boom, yeah, they sure are. Here's the Grave for Cirno. He'll probably check the top 3 since he's here, but we'll see if he opts to do anything further.
Yeah, knowing that the game could just be done getting the coordinates, you're not super incentivized to dive here.
Yeah, the problem is if Beta comes across this, he's down in armor as well. He did kind of side skirt it though, but he is about to see it in a moment.
Fighter's Ring pickup in the top of Grave there for Cirno.
Well, here we go. Beta's going to come in and get his Fighter's Ring. We'll see what he opts to do from there, though. He's got the cord still, but he's still down a Death Necklace and an armor, and Beta has been a deep diver here during this tournament, so I have a bad feeling he might do it.
Yeah, and that could be costly in this situation with Cirno potentially so close to being in grind and go.
But it doesn't matter because Cirno's diving as well for whatever reason. We have a 50-50 chords, but he is definitely wanting to just do this while he's here.
If it is down here, it will have been the right call.
Oh, we have DL2 Wizards, so they're going to be happy they picked up that Silver Shield. Most likely going to be repelling those by the time we get into Go Melode, but we'll find out.
Golem's on the way down. See if Cirno's going to run away here or try to get this XP as well.
And yes, Grave is at the far north coast, so it's a decent hike up to here for sure. It makes sense from Beta's perspective. I can see not wanting to have to come back up here from Cirno's perspective, but honestly, I'm shocked he didn't just run straight to the chords as soon as he got the Hawks news.
Cirno did start out with a crit on that golem, but took a couple extra swings there, but does get it down for that 350. It's going to get up to level 11 here.
All right, chest 4. We have a set of wings. Both of them getting that information almost simultaneously.
Well, they'll both know if the Death Necklace ends up being relevant. They should at least both end up with the knowledge that it's in Sharlock if it's not in chest 5 here.
Yeah, this is pretty interesting watching this. Oh, there we go. I was like, they're like a second apart from each other until that Blue Dragon encounter for Cirno. So Beta getting a little bit of luck on the encounter so far. Is one more staircase away from getting to where chest 5 is, and we'll find out. Yeah, I mean, at best case, well, I mean, I guess it could still be the harp all the way down. Oh my god, you gotta be kidding me.
Wow. So this is great.
Amazing.
For Cirno. Beta's going to spend the time going to the chords. They're going to be the Death Necklace. He needs to go do the Mountain Cave, and he doesn't know where that is. But he will be able to trade in the harp and then get the drop when he finds that area, ideally.
Run away. It's going to be Breckenary. Oh no.
So Cirno now has all of the items required to get into Sharlock and complete the game. It's just a matter of trading them in and getting the XP.
Exactly, and instant simultaneously winged throws here as both are gonna, well, Cirno's gonna top off first, but both are gonna go get their staff. This absolutely makes sense for Beta. He has not seen the jerk yet, so he wants to have that staff in hand. Once he does locate that, hopefully finds the mountain cave while doing so. Additionally, Cirno knows exactly where to go, and he's going to be in grind and go as soon as he does this.
Yeah, Cirno's path to victory is just going straight to the drop trade in and getting an efficient grind and being able to go and win. And Beta's best path here is looking for the coordinates and then finding the mountain cave and then subsequently the Rainbow Drop Cave and being done, and being able to get on the grind quicker, then Cirno can catch up.
Yeah, so yet another zoom here for the runners. Beta trying to optimize every little bit, uses the other set of wings just to minimize walking here. When you know you have a zoomy seed, you have to try and go as quickly as absolutely possible. So I get it. We'll see how this goes, though. I don't know where he's wanting to go. He's backtracking to where he had been, so I think he is going to go check these cords. From his perspective, this could still be the armor. Makes absolute total sense.
Yep, we'll just have to see if he's able to end up in the right place for the cords, or if he ends up in that mountain cave area. And like you were saying, we feel like we're in a very advanced state of this race, and it's 38 minutes in.
Yeah, this is, I mean, I know Beta's shared the sentiment as a runner. These are almost the worst type of seeds, just because there's no breathing. You can't come up for air. It's just go, and hope that you make less mistakes than your opponent.
Yeah, these are the most stressful kinds because, I mean, RNG always plays a factor, but it really plays a factor in these very fast races.
All right, here's a death necklace from Beta, so he will have that in hand. There is a chance the death necklace still comes into play, so we will check into that. We'll see if Beta does not find out about the DL2 right away, at least from this wizard. 0 for 2, so maybe it's only about a 25%, but we'll have to wait and see.
Edging closer to level 13, we still have some things that are desired before we could go. It could be quick, but it's likely to take a couple more levels, so not an immediate thing, but this grind is going to be huge for both players.
Yeah, absolutely. And also for Cirno, figuring out where the heck to go back to the rainbow drop, because he is checking a bunch of dead ends and they're right next to each other. So if this is the path, Beta's got to go to the east, and so he's going to find mountains, so he's got both.
Yep, he just needs to get the armor here and then go east from the cave exit. And Cirno has the drop, is in grind and go mode.
Yeah, this is nuts. I mean, Beta's gonna kill a little bit of time here if he goes to the down chest, which I think I saw him do that last night. So if he goes to the down chest, he'll see that armor, and there is literally nothing else for him to want to find. So he should hit outside immediately. There we go.
And he does.
So he's just got to find our rainbow.
Yeah, and it's just straight east from here, I'm pretty sure. Like, legitimately just like straight east.
It is, and this is all dead end, so it's going to funnel him right into that bridge. So
yeah, he's there.
Wow, this is absolutely amazing. I mean, sometimes it works out well for you. So while Cirno did appear to have an exploration lead, that is extremely quickly vanquished. And actually now Beta, not only with the XP lead, but also does have that death necklace in case it does come into play.
Yeah, and Cirno's going into Sharlock.
Well, this is intriguing. This is where we're at. We're at the end game here. It's what do you grind? You have double armor knight, or you had completely free red dragons, which surprises me that Cirno's not going to look for those if you're going to do some weird grind, although they are in this top zone here, so he does want to get this red dragon down, but we'll see where Beta decides to go. The only thing I can see maybe a borderline level being a situation that we take into consideration. Otherwise, it's all about this grind at this point.
I wonder if Beta's going to the armored knight.
He has to be. That's the only reason he would be coming in here. So it seems like Beta wants to go do the repeatable fight. We'll see if that pays off or not. Cirno's getting a lot of downtime in between battles. If he wants this red dragon, it would be much better, I would say, in the desert where you get higher encounter rates. However, it is getting I mean, this is a second red dragon in like 20 seconds, so that's not too bad. But here we go.
Yeah, and 111 attack power, DK. Are you swing Hurtmooring or Hurtmooring?
111's miserable for a swing Hurtmoor. You'll do it probably, 30-40% of the time. Enough to make you feel like you're doing it, otherwise you're just wasting time. So, I don't know. We'll see what level 13 brings. Maybe this will change this up. 6 more power, maybe we swing now. So, 3, 2, 13.
Yeah, I think that you're accurate. I think I'm a more aggressive swing Hurtmoorer than most, but it's not always the best. But it looks like Beta's going to maybe just stick with hurt more here. Not interested in the variance. Oh no, going for hurt more swing.
Yeah, we're in that window now where it's probably like about a toss up there. And of course, it also depends on how well your hurt more does, how well your attack does, and what the range, where in the range the Armor Knight falls. So it's all, you got to take all that into consideration as you're going through. And he's not topping off the HP here. That 19 not going to cut it though. And then there you go. You get a triple. He doesn't even want to risk dying. He's going to heal more before doing an almost guaranteed swing.
Cirno almost caught up on XP already, though. Surprisingly here.
The red dragons are just absolutely money. They are free experience with very little resource usage, critting an Armor Knight as well. And we'll see. The zone's not bad. The zone is definitely not bad for Cirno. We'll see how this plays out. But you know, for those that aren't aware, Beta up 1-0 after winning game 1 last night. Cirno has to pull off the win tonight to send this to a pivotal game 3. Otherwise, Beta will be crowned our 2025 summer champion. So a lot on the line tonight.
The long droughts of no encounters are the rough part of this 1 in 16 grind.
Yeah, that's when it was Red Dragon, Armor Knight. That's when it felt great. When you get the droughts is when you start feeling miserable. But man, yeah, Beta's gonna have to top off here in a minute. He's down to 2 hurt mores and is not gonna get level 14 off of this.
There's probably a reason they're not doing it, but if I remember, it was a desert near Rim that had that red dragon. Maybe it's only 1 out of 5, and you think the spike is better, but man, it just feels like so free. I don't know. I probably would have tried that.
And I agree. I mean, they both ran into, I know Beta, I mean, heck, he ran into it super early where he first turn ran the first one and then immediately ran into another one and had to get mercy ruled with 38 HP. But Beta is opting to stay here on this Armor Knight. He is doing this lengthy walk out to the south exit through the back of Garenham to go top off. And this is going to cost a lot of time on these refills.
Yeah, it's a bummer when you need to not use the key, because it does take a not insignificant amount of time to have to go back through the whole back.
Yeah, this is, oh man, this is a real miserable walk. It is dodging, and Cirno's gonna die. We'll see if he opts to come back up to Charlock, if he wants to go check out that desert or switches gears completely.
Yeah, it's really just coming down to the grind here. Whoever's going to go into Charlock first, it's going to be the result of who has the more efficient grind. That's really all I can say.
Yeah, I mean, we're a 500 XP deficit here, more or less, for Cirno, and it seems at least so far his grind has been more efficient. He does seem to be heading towards where we did see that red dragon earlier, so we'll see if he can pull it off here in the desert. And I'll be honest, unless level 14, maybe level 15 is go, I think that leans most likely towards Cirno unless he gets terrible RNG on the encounters.
Yeah, especially because the heal walking in this circumstance also lets you, like, not only are you not spending that much because of the fights, but then you're also healing with the armor in between a little bit more, conserving your MP. So it seems like it would be pretty good if you can get a decent ratio.
Yeah, instead he's just fighting the wizard right now. We're not quite to where we're repelling wizards yet. We'll be very soon, most likely. But we'll see level 14 from both sides here in a moment.
And the wizard actually capable of doing much more damage to you than the red dragon on average.
Yeah, that sneaky DL2 is no bueno at all. But here we go. Level 14 for Beta Strep. What are we getting? Three, 5, 13, 3. There is the increasingly important spell of Radiant. We'll see if either runner uses it.
Yeah, that's definitely not looking like you're wanting to go. 62 agility is not great. Not enough MP with 120 attack power for sure. So we're going to have to keep grinding. And again, it's going to be all about the efficiency here.
Yeah, and what I keep watching is that agility is not really, it's moved up a little bit here. It's kind of right in that DK sweet spot, but that's usually not the sweet spot for everybody else. So they'll probably want some more agility, but the pessimist in me says we're going to get the HP for Death Necklace before we get the strength to not Death Necklace, and if that's the case, that's one little less thing that Beta will have to do. Poor Cirno just walking all over the place here, is not getting that red dragon whatsoever right now. Is getting some other items and enemies here, but there it is.
Yep, we'll be repelling the wizard after this fight, and then it'll just be the red dragon and the werewolf.
Yeah, this zone was real nice with the red dragons when it was a lot more difficult to fight them. But now that you can fight them, they're hiding. But here we go. Meanwhile, that little bit of a wall in experience there did briefly put Beta up by 800. Immediately closes back to 500 and then went back up to 700 because of the Armor Knight kill. So we're going to see a lot of that fluctuation here. We'll see if that 500 to 700 gap closes at all.
Well, it looks like level 30 is good enough to win the game on, so that's reassuring.
Man, this is amazing. That's 2 nights in a row we found out about a later level. But it is comforting to know that the rando is being nice enough to ensure that you can go by level 30 here. Cirno just crit strats on a red dragon, take it out in one swing, much more efficient.
Yeah, with the frequency increasing on these red dragon fights, probably going to see Cirno eclipse Beta here without too much delay.
Yeah, if these kept coming, this is exactly what Cirno needed. This is a fantastic red dragon encounter rate. They finally woke up and started showing up, and they are just so free. It's like every fifth action they attack you, you're not in any danger whatsoever. And here we are.
Yeah, and like I said, might even just want to run from the werewolf and save your MP, but gonna use the hurt more and go after it. All the walking around, if you're not getting the encounter, you're healing too, so it feels pretty good.
Yeah, he does have the 2 towns right next door. Plus, I mean, heck, a Death Warp might just be about as fast as well. But going to be almost tied on experience after this werewolf, just short of where Beta is. Or is he just above? I can't remember. Beta was mid 6700s as well.
Yeah, just below, but this is definitely going to do it. And I think that if this isn't level 15 go, Beta is in more and more trouble.
Agreed. Absolutely agreed. From Beta's perspective, he is wanting to see a very large gain in hit points while the strength stagnates, to where Cirno would be forced to make a decision on either continue to grind or go find that Death Necklace while he already has the Death Necklace in hand.
Yeah, that's a great point. The Death Necklace difference is a potential huge advantage for Beta if all they get is HP and enough to use the necklace.
And then we always got the last thing. We've got Sharlock ahead of us, and Sharlock is always the major wild card. We saw it last night. We've seen it time and again and throughout this entire tournament. And with the agility being as low as it is, even if the reds are nerfed, these Armor Knights definitely are not. So, but here we go. Level 15 brings us 4 power, 3 agility, 2 hit points, 8 MP, and our last spell, which was Stop Spell. So taking a quick look there is not going to be enough there right now, even with 12 Healmores.
Yeah, gonna keep going, and this is good news for Cirno, because he is going to be only extending this lead at this point, and so he's gonna need one of those. I think at this point, Beta's gonna need one of those situations you were describing with a low strength, high HP level.
Yeah, absolutely, and that last one definitely was the opposite of what Beta would want to be finding. He's going to get his level 15 news here on this Armor Knight. We'll definitely not have the resources for level 16 on this current go-round, almost assuredly. So, yeah, let's see what happens. Again, Sharlock's always an equalizer. Until we get through that Sharlock, nothing is concrete. But we're definitely seeing Cirno being the favored right now. I'd say he's definitely in the proverbial catbird seat.
Yeah, for sure. And we've seen a number of Sharlock enemies. Have we seen sleep on any of them? We know the wizard has Dragonlord breath, but both of them should be able to repel those wizards.
Yeah, wizard's going to be gone. That's the only one I've seen with anything outside of this red dragon that is the most beautiful red dragon you've ever seen, right? You know, it's one of those dream red dragons.
Yeah, the golem seemed to be swinging all the time. The armored knight seems to be swinging all the time. I don't know if the blue dragon had much of anything. Have we seen a green dragon? Is that the only enemy we haven't really seen?
Green dragon, also Stone Man? I don't remember seeing a Stone Man, but I could have missed it.
Might have seen some stone men. Yeah, maybe Axe Knight also. Hard to know if there's anything going on with those, but other than that, it's mostly just going to be the armored knight punching you in the face and you not being able to run away. That is the scariest thing.
There we go. So that's why we have a chat. Chat sees all. So we've seen pretty much everything except maybe the Axe Knight at this point then. But again, yeah, we might not have seen attacks from those enemies, so TBD on if they have anything scary or not. The walk back and forth for Cirno continues, and another crit, low end, but another crit for Cirno. He's kind of replicating Beta's crit in the golems last night, which was humorous, but this will leave him 2 red dragons away.
And very clearly showing the power of the fight here, and just being on a desert zone with a nerfed red dragon.
And meanwhile, Beta definitely not giving up his position with this Armor Knight. Again, walking out after running out of resources, will be topping off yet again. So let's see what happens here.
Probably see Cirno do a refill cycle here as well, but we'll be getting the level very shortly thereafter. Oh, maybe gonna keep going, maybe just gonna die. Like you said, it's so easy to get back.
Well, this is interesting. Beta did opt to walk out this time of Garenham. He's back in, he is topped off, but no, he's just going back in. He's got 1 extra key left.
So not this red dragon, but the next fight Cirno takes, either the werewolf or, well, yeah, I think the werewolf will be enough. Should be the level 16. We'll see what it gives.
This wizard's enough as well. He did have repel run out, so wizard does it also, and we're gonna see level 16. Cirno looking for some strength, maybe some more MP chaser. Another 7 or 8 would be awesome. But we got 3, 16, 9, 2.
Well, that definitely doesn't do it for the death necklace. It does give you potential double HP if you want to think about that.
Yeah, and now we really get into the whole, yeah, do you want to try and do fairy water strats and figure out that math? And the fairy water was fairly far away. It was either on the far west coast for Cantlin, or Breckenary was out along the north coast, so not really conveniently located.
So you need at least 2 doubles, sounding like what Aaron's saying in chat there, to make it work on level 16.
Well, we'll see what he opts to do here. He's out of resources, is coming in here to top off on herbs at least. Meanwhile, we'll almost assuredly, I have to assume Beta's going to continue to grind beyond 16 without question. Cirno looks like he's going to go get this fairy water. It's a little faster coming through here, coming south out of here and going west to Cantlin, and that's the only thing that makes sense for why he would be back here.
Yeah, maybe thinking about going aggressively, tournament life on the line. I know that there's been several races, pickup races, where, the most recent one I remember, he went a couple extra levels than the winner. So he might have that on his mind, just thinking about, like, I feel like if you watch him, he sometimes is known for going an extra level. So he might be trying to correct something that he may think has been losing him some races.
Well, he's gonna kill this golem as well on the way. Maybe hedging bets. It's the worst of both worlds, I think, when you do that. But yeah, I think you got to pick one or the other. But we'll see what happens. He's nearly to Cantlin at this point.
Yeah, 90 defense, so you are defense breaking Green Dragon on down. He might have, ideas of potentially trying to get into Zone 2 and see if he can't get more favorable enemies to fight and grind on the way down.
Yeah, that agility bump, which was huge. We're defense breaking a ton. So if you leave the repel off, you're fighting a bunch of defense or broken enemies. So yeah, and then with the red dragon on top of it, there could be value in a grind and dive for sure.
But yeah, like you're saying, beta on the dedicated grind is catching up slightly here, and if the level is just a clear go and beta doesn't need to go get fairy water or anything like that, it could be a time expenditure that is not well spent.
Oh, there we go. We got the return. We're going to get a top off, and I think we're almost certainly going to see a dive there. There's no reason to do that fairy water pickup without otherwise wanting to do this. So here we go. And beta, meanwhile, almost out of resources, is heading onwards towards 17 right now.
12,000 is the mark to get.
And immediately walks away. So he is also going for fairy water. Beta is heading straight to Cantlin right now. So this is going to be exciting, man. Beta's a little behind for where Cirno is right now. Cirno additionally is continuing to fight things. So in fact, this will leave him 1,000 away, just under 1,000 away from the level. So anything but MP would be helpful.
This is very interesting because if beta elects to just run away from everything and not take any fights, could end up seeing him get ahead of Cirno here. But we're really this is very exciting. Again, like just another barn burner of a race.
Yeah, absolutely. And beta's going to be one less spot unless never mind. He sells the death necklace. Yeah, he's definitely not thinking about anything else. Of course, Cirno did know about reds in the first zone here, so does make sense that he knows that he would most likely get at least one, if not all three, he would need for this level.
Yeah, I mean, it's a heads up play for sure. Especially if it comes with attack power. If it's only MP, that's the way that you get burned on this.
I mean, look at that. He hasn't even made the first real turn in here yet and is already on his second red dragon. So we're going to see level 17 here momentarily. Meanwhile, beta about to top off, and we'll be heading towards Charlock as well. Probably be about a 2-minute entry after Cirno there.
Yep, and boy, one more red dragon and you're in there for level 17.
All right, Armor Knight, we definitely don't want to fight it. 81 agility, not working in our favor. That's 2 run fails. That is 3 run fails. We will get the guaranteed, but he is going to have to definitely heal up a little.
And this is where it gets a little bit dicey because you don't want to be wasting heal mores in here. And if you run out of all your herbs and you get into a dicey situation, that's where things can get froggy.
Yeah, and here's an ambush from an Armor Knight right away after Urban up, not quite the full, and immediate run block again. He's already down to 2 herbs, and another run block. He's going to have to use a heal more here or risk a run, and does get away, but he will be out of herbs after these 2.
Oh boy, this is not the situation that you want to be in, but it's still fine if you can get down and make it through without too much trouble. At this point, you're hoping for the red dragon encounters.
Yeah, and that's crazy to think about. Typically not wanting reds at all, but here we go. We got our last red dragon. Beta gets an immediate red dragon, is also killing them on the way up, so most likely will continue to do so on this dive as well. So Cirno is going to most likely not be killing anything after this. We'll see what level 17 brings here after probably one more swing.
So yeah, this definitely puts Cirno in the driver's seat, but losing out on all those herbs, that's the real thing. If you can make it, it's going to be great, but let's see what you get here. 5, 1, 12, 1. So both good things, HP and 5 attack power to get to 132.
Yeah, this is fantastic news for Cirno. Beta's even got the if everything goes terrible death necklace strats back up.
Yeah, Beta sold that death necklace though.
Oh, that's right. He sold the death necklace. But I mean, at 135, you're getting doubles almost assuredly. I think 135, especially with this defense, you probably assume at least 2 doubles, I would say. Although, the game likes to troll.
Yeah, it does some pretty abnormal things every once in a while, but we'll really have to see. But if Cirno can make it through here without too many more Armored Knight encounters, we'll be in pretty good shape. Might be able to lose some resources as well now with that extra 5. You don't want to, though.
Yeah, agreed. Agreed. So Well, here we go. Cirno continuing his dive on the final floor of Zone 2. Dragons on both sides. Beta has decided to no longer care about the red dragon, so he is just running now. Is not wanting to deal with it. Cirno going to be into Zone 3 on the U floor now. And, we'll see if Beta can catch up at all. He is 3 floors behind right now, though.
We got red dragons in the bottom zone, which is oftentimes reason to despair, but now not so much.
We had 2 bonus MP on Cirno's side, and he is using that for a repel. There's an Axe Knight, just uses its axe. So red dragon's Axe Knight downstairs so far. Beta going to see this wizard, and now he is going to repel.
Cirno getting stopped here by a red dragon, but it's going to cast Hurt. Has not done anything particularly menacing as of yet. So despite losing all the herbs on the top floor, the rest of the dive has gone pretty well for Cirno.
Yeah, absolutely. Oh, the red dragon decided to show its teeth here real fast. So Beta almost down to the bottom. We got dueling red dragons, and the red dragons are very frequent down here, man. That was back-to-back tiles for Cirno, so encounter rate could come into play on this as well, as Beta's about to see the light of downstairs as Cirno continues to be stuck, and he just gets away.
Yeah, the difference between getting fewer encounters or the first turn runs and the mercy rule is stark, but here Beta is getting some of that same treatment.
Yeah, exactly what Beta didn't want to have happen here. He's getting, I think he just got mercy ruled there. Meanwhile, Cirno does get run blocked for 1, and immediate red dragon again for both. This is a very heavy red dragon zone.
Wouldn't be surprised if it rolled 40%.
Well, this is fun. Cirno is going to get away on this one, got his mercy rolled, and into yet another red dragon as Beta's coming around the top. Does get away on the first turn for Cirno, and we're into an Axe Knight, and so far we've seen an axe from it, so looking okay as long as it doesn't have a heal or heal more on the back end, and he is through the spike.
Yep, of course, one of the first steps is a red dragon. Gets away though, another step, another red dragon.
This is amazing, and he does not have any spare healing. Now he's going to heal walk. Oh baby, does get back to 99. He's well short of max, but is our first one to be called a fool tonight. Is into the Dragon Lord 1 version, and we'll see how this goes.
And has maintained 12 heal mores, so hurt more twice. 49 gonna attack. Gets ambushed by the Dragon Lord, so gonna have to use that first heal more before attacking. I'm not gonna be able to count both fights, so I'm gonna count Cirno's fight with the fairy water. We've got 13.
All right, now keep an eye on Beta.
23. $34.
19 hitting on the lower side.
$46. Cirno's gonna get another double here. 58. $73.
Beta does get a double, only at 48. His rolls suck.
$85. $94.
75 does get another double. 84.
$104. $113 gets another double here. 126.
109.
I must have missed one there. Cirno's got it though.
We'll get some GGs out in chat for Cirno. Looks like he's going to be taking us home. We saw a little bit of stutter, so we'll get a confirmation in the race room, but is going to pull through on a very critical game 2, doing what everybody here wanted, sending this to an ultimate game 3, and he has an official racetime.gg time of 1 hour, 7 minutes, and 54 seconds.
Yeah, huge win here in a very close race as Beta takes down the Dragon Lord and going to finish very shortly after Cirno. Very, very tight race. Fantastic. Expect the third race to be more of the same.
Yeah, what a fantastic race. Sherlock, about the only trolls that gave him was a bunch of red dragons that were obnoxious, as Beta does finish at 1 hour, 8 minutes, 23 seconds, so 29 seconds behind, and that was about as close as it gets in a very quick seed here tonight.
Yeah, and again, they didn't get the hurt more at level 1. It was at level 2, and it was another barn burner of a seed.
Yeah, absolutely amazing. Both of these runners played this fantastically. I think Cirno ultimately had a slightly better grind, and that's what put him in the driver's seat to be able to take this W tonight. Beta, though, sometimes you just stick with the grind, and as chat was alluding to, he might not have saw the red dragons in the desert, may have only saw them in the plains, so didn't know that they were in a better zone, or just wanted the consistent. Honestly, either option, it makes sense at the time. So I think as long as you don't flip flop or go wishy washy is huge.
Yeah, it's tough to always make the right choice in terms of what's the most efficient thing, but sticking to your guns is very important. Can tell you from experience that flip-flopping does not lead to positive results.
Now, the one thing I'll say is, I know we were talking about hedging bets, and then both of them did hedge bets, with Cirno going all the way to 17 on the dive, while Beta took a couple kills and then opted out. Just a couple of those red dragon fights that he opted to fight through versus running, very close to eating up that 23 seconds difference as well. So that's just something to think about if you're hedging.
Yeah, there's so many things that kind of hinged one way or the other in this race, and things were looking, very tilted in one way and then another way, and then all of a sudden, yeah, and there's a lot of lead changes. It was a very exciting race.
Yeah, it was absolutely amazing. It was fun as heck to watch. But here we go. We got Dice runner-up Beta Strep joining us. GG's. How you feeling about this one?
Pretty annoyed because we specifically requested like a non-hurt start, and then it came at level 2.
Yeah, and it was humorous. I said, and that's what I was saying before the race. I said it's going to come at level 2. I already know this, and then it did, and it was. I felt bad, but laughed at the same time.
Yeah, it was oddly predictable. At least it was a bit different from last night's seed. Like, this wasn't linear, really. Like, it was a single continent, and there were multiple directions to go. I felt like I basically right-ordered the seed, but I think, looking back on it, if I had to guess why I lost, it's probably because I settled on the Armored Knight spike. I mean, in my head, like, I knew there were red dragons on the overworld, but I don't recall seeing them in a high encounter tile set, and that's why I didn't target them. So I just opted for the spike grind and felt bad the entire time.
Yeah, and you nailed it. I mean, you guys did find things in slightly different orders, ultimately culminating with both of you getting the rainbow drop probably 30 seconds apart. But ultimately, Cirno was about a 1,500 XP deficit, did go to the Red Dragon. It was in that desert just north of Rim, south of Cantlin there, or not Cantlin, but Garenham. But it was in the desert tiles where you ran into them early, but you were in the plains tiles. They were in that desert there.
Well, that's pretty irritating. But yeah, and then the other thing I regret is, like, I did take like a couple extra red dragon fights on my way into Sherlock because I was still resolving the math in my head. I was like, instinctively, I'm like, this has to be go, but I was still mulling over the numbers in my head, and I knew the reds were basically free, and then that one just attacked me like 3 times in a row, and I just got annoyed.
Yeah, and I actually was talking about that. I was like, I think 2 fights might be 20-something seconds as well. Cirno also decided to dive and grind at 16. He actually ended up killing enough red dragons to get 17, which made it really, really free. But that almost allowed you back into it. And then that bottom zone, that was interesting. The red dragons weren't scary, but man, there were so many of them.
Yeah, and I really appreciated the fact that I got 2 consecutive mercy rules entering the bottom floor. That just felt great in a jet seed.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, otherwise, I don't think there was a ton to talk about this. You both made very similar plays. You both were diving grave at the exact same time. The only thing that didn't go exactly the same is you ultimately did get the cords and the death necklace, because Cirno already had knowledge that it would be the death necklace, so he never bothered with the cords.
Yeah, without the knowledge, I absolutely had to do the coordinate check. Luckily, that walk just took me straight to the things that I needed. Like, it was just a very bizarre thing where it's like, we say oftentimes in this game that when you go looking for coordinates, it'll often take you to something else that you need, and in this case, it absolutely did that. It just took me straight to Mountain Cave, and then I backtracked and saw the rainbow drop, and I was just instantly done.
Yeah, absolutely. So it was slightly out of the way, but not very impactful at the end of the day. So it was a fantastic race to watch, and watching you two just get along. But I know it's not what you want, but it's what pretty much everybody else was wanting, a pivotal Game 3 coming up.
I am not at all surprised that this is required. I just hope that tomorrow night's seed is different. Like, these early Hurtmore jets are just, I mean, I'm sure they're entertaining in the sense that they're typically going to be close races, but I want something that's more interesting than this. I want something where I actually have to make some difficult decisions. Like, deciding on what to grind on isn't that difficult of a choice, because it's just based on what you know and what your assumptions are. I want something a little bit tougher. I want something where we have to struggle a bit for like the first 5 or 6 levels at least.
Oh, absolutely. That, I know, as a viewer myself, I want to see something that just really makes you guys struggle, similar to how our races were together earlier in the tournament. I thought those were fantastic races for this tournament. So something along those lines would be fantastic for you guys.
Yes, I want to be stuck at the starting screen for a good 30-odd minutes just struggling to kill magicians.
I got a question for you. In chat, some people were thinking that grinding past 16 to 17 was the obvious choice, and then both of you decided to start your treks towards Sharlock at 16. And I just wanted to know what your thought process was towards like the ghost stats in the end game.
Instinctively, I just thought it was clear go with Fairy Waters and doubles math and high defense. Like, with 123 hit points and 12 heal mores, my expectation is I'm going to get at least 1 double during the Dragon Lord fight, and there's decent odds at 81 agility and with that HP total that I'm also going to get an opening double, which of course I didn't because I got pack attacked. But yeah, I thought the math was pretty clear, even though it took me a moment to resolve that on my way into Sharlock fighting the free reds as I thought about it. But like, yeah, it seemed like it was pretty clear go stats at the end of that.
Well, like you said, we have the final game tomorrow night, 8 p.m. Eastern time, 5 p.m. Pacific. So make sure everybody joins us tomorrow night. Any final thoughts from Hoodie or Beta before we wrap up tonight, though?
No, just a fantastic race. It's been a fantastic series. Something I would expect from the number 1 and number 2 most standard races done this calendar year in Cirno and Beta. So GG's, looking forward to Game 3, and good luck to both of you.
I'll just say the usual thing that runners say, like, thank you to all you guys that volunteer to cover us, and Thank you to chat for being your typical scrutinizing self. I'm sure you may have questioned a couple things, but in this type of seed, I kind of doubt it, honestly. But hopefully there's some things that happen tomorrow that you guys will be really irritated by and question us about and second guess us for the next year, depending on which one of us loses.
Yeah, exactly. I'm so excited, man. This has been a fantastic year of a summer tournament, and hopefully we get a really fun one, regardless of what it turns out to be. To finish this up, we'll be crowning a new champ tomorrow night. But for now, we're gonna send it over to Scarlet Shadow doing some vanilla running of Dragon Warrior 4. He is currently gambling, so if you're not a gambler, don't be paying attention. But for our restreamer tonight, Value V, our tracker, Darthling, and my co-coms in the booth tonight. Hoodie, Two Shoes, on DK9146. Everybody, we'll see you in about 23 hours. Have a good night. I mean, the admins are in chat, and none of them. There we go. I was like, no one's doing it. Someone finally did. There we go.